And in this instance, M has an amazing ability to come across as cold in certain social situations.
Like what?
Like...
I'm a passionate man. How can I be cold?
No, you are cold in certain social situations.
Like what?
You just sit there. You don't engage. You don't take part in it. And that's your way of controlling the emotional storm that might come forth as a result of interaction.
No, it's like what we were saying last week. It's just that people don't talk about anything that I'm that interested in. I don't really say that much. It's only when people start talking about
Do you not
things.
think that's a bit arrogant, though?
No, it's just that I'm different to, some people. And not the same as some people.
Yeah, but you're making an assumption without really getting to know the people sometimes. This is just my kind of perception of things.
This is true. This is true.
Which is, you have to admit, quite arrogant.
Arrogant aside, I mean, you stick a label on it, whatever you want to call it. Arrogant, schmarrogant, barrogant, or flarrogant, yeah? It doesn't matter. The point is, it's a behavioural aspect, which kind of goes along the lines of, there's a group of people, if no one's actually jamming about what I'm interested in and playing the music that I'm interested in, then I don't join in, basically. And that has its own problems as an approach. And in essence, I could be, if I wanted to be, expressing myself more to actually influence the direction of what was actually being played, musically speaking, as a metaphor.
But can you not just sit and observe and maybe interact on a level that wouldn't be that comfortable for you? Why does it have to go your way exactly in order for you to engage?
Well, I do
Surely
engage.
you might learn.
If someone asks me something, I'll answer the question. Won't just say nothing. But that's engaging enough. If anyone's really, it's a work level agreement, isn't it? Like when I go to work, we're not always, people are talking about things. I'm not always that interested. But when it comes to work, then if there's a required interaction to actually make something happen, people will be quite direct with you, won't they? And they'll ask you things directly, and you'll answer directly. It's only when your input is not required, people won't bother being direct, because it's just a conversation. It doesn't need necessarily any input from anyone sitting on the sideline. It's not going to benefit that much necessarily from what I say. So just let it flow, let it go, let people talk about what they want to talk about without stirring it up.
I don't know why you'd need to stir it up particularly.
Well, why do I need to just make random comments just to sort of make, people feel like I'm, better just because I'm sitting in the room? Can't they be happy that I'm sitting in the room and just being in the room rather than actually sort of, joining in with the, at the level that, they're currently at? Why do I have to?
So you see it as a lower level to you? Is that what you're saying? I'm
saying there's different levels, yeah. I'm not
you're actually saying you're above that kind of conversation?
You got to fit in at the level you're at, haven't you? It's not hard and fast rule, but...
oh my God.
It's... You talk about frequencies, don't you? So this is exactly the same concept. I'm just using the term level, and you're using the term frequency, yeah? Well, I'm not vibing with the people that you're thinking of right now, yeah? I'm not vibing with that. I vibe on my own frequency, yeah? And if there's people around me on my frequency, then I vibe with them. And then if you want to just talk about frequencies, I'll use that terminology. It's exactly the same thing. It means exactly the same thing. It's just, where you're comfortable, what level are you comfortable? Frequency, are you comfortable engaging it?
That's awful.
What do you mean? Why?
That is truly awful.
Why is that awful?
Because you should have the fortitude of mind and the open-mindedness to just try and engage at all levels or frequencies, shouldn't you? You might learn something if you did. You might be surprised and actually learn something you didn't know before. Or are you above that?
I'm not in the game to learn. I'm not here to learn. I'm not interested in
What are you here to do then? Teach?
I'm not.
And if no one's interested in what you've got to say, then you don't say anything? Because they're not following you? Mr. Guru Man? What's that all about? Please explain yourself on this podcast.
Right, all right.
And it better be good.
Well, it doesn't have to be good. It's just
Yeah,
what
it does
comes out
have
of my
to be
mouth.
good.
Why does it have to be good?
Because you need to redeem yourself quite considerably at this point,
Redemption
I think.
is not required. You're already listening to me. If you don't want to listen, turn it off. I don't have to redeem anything. I don't have to prove myself to anyone. So
That is such a bad attitude. But people have to prove themselves to you. They have to prove themselves that they're worthy of you talking to them, of you engaging with them, do they?
No, it's not about people. It's about what we're talking about. It's about...
That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
People have to prove themselves to you, but you won't prove yourself to anyone else.
That's not what I'm saying.
It sounds like it.
No. What I'm saying is, if people are talking about something I'm interested in, then I'll talk about it with them. If they're not talking about something I'm interested in, why should I talk about it with them? What? Why should I talk about something I'm not interested in? I'm just going to end up taking the piss.
By saying that you're not interested, and that is what you're saying when you just sit in a different room or don't communicate with people, ultimately that is how it looks.
How it looks, yes. But that is because...
But that is what you're doing. That's what you're telling me. That is what you're doing, clearly.
Yeah. It's nothing personal, yeah?
I think it actually is.
It's not. It's not personal at all.
It's very arrogant. Sorry, this wasn't meant to turn into a domestic, by the way.
I'm just trying to think of a decent response.
Yeah.
Right. My decent response is, it's not personal. Do you understand what that means? What that means is, if you take it personally that I'm not communicating with you, that's on you. Just as the same thing with your emotion. That's on you. That's your emotion. That's your reaction to a situation. If I'm not talking to you, your reaction to that situation could be to take it personally. Yeah? That's on you. It's not on me. It's not on me in any way. Do you want to actually... If you really wanted to talk to me, then talk to me. Why do I have to join in?
Why do you have to wait for other people to talk to you, to come to you? Can't you go to them and engage?
I can.
Yeah, but why don't you then?
Well, they don't look like they want me to engage.
They'd love you to.
Well, they're not expressing that.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. You can relate this to R1 as well. Exactly the same thing goes for her brain.
It also looks exactly the same level of... It's not arrogance at this point. R1 is our daughter, by the way. It's not arrogance. It just comes across like she is socially inept at this point. I'm sure that it will come across as arrogance later on. And I feel that it's something that does need to be told to her, maybe, in a nice way.
But I've got your counter argument right here. She's just going to come up with that, even if you tell it to her in the best case scenario. That's how her little brain's going to work. That's how my brain works. If people want to engage with me, then engage with me.
Yeah, but she's not you.
Yeah, but she's very much like me. I wouldn't be surprised if she comes up with the exact same logic.
Because Emma's going to make sure she does.
I don't know, you can't change people and their personalities. Maybe that's just my personality. I don't go around complaining about your personality, do I?
I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to work it out, to be honest, because this is something that makes me feel quite awkward. Given that it's my family that we're talking about in this situation. So not only does Em do this when we're at, my parents' house, he did it when we were at a family gathering a week or so ago.
I don't remember this.
Whereby he sat at the end of the table and really didn't actually communicate with anyone, not even the people that were sitting opposite him. And I was aware of it. And
I've explained myself perfectly
and actually,
well. So
people in my family have come up to me and asked if Em's all right, or if they've done something wrong.
See? That's on them.
Or if he's just bored.
That might be true too.
Is that true?
Well, it doesn't matter. If it is true, then it's true. You know, they're not here for my amusement. I don't think to myself, "Oh, you guys are boring me. I'm out of here." Yeah, I know they're not here for my amusement. They're just being themselves. But that doesn't mean that I have to figure out how to fit in with that. I am the way I am, just as much as they can be the way they are. Just because we have to be totally different, you know, is exactly what you'd expect to happen.
Yes, but isn't that like you're isolating yourself from people as a result?
Yeah, but I don't mind that. Why do I have to be non-isolated? I don't get hung up on in this particular case. I don't get hung up on not being totally, I don't know, at one with everyone. So what you're saying is that you just want to understand, and I think I've provided a lot
I don't know.
of understanding. And if there's anything missing, they should probably ask me about it. But I think I've said everything.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say this to anyone else in our circle, would you?
Well, I'd say
you wouldn't
if they
actually
asked.
come out with it, would you?
I'd say if they asked.
Why would you say that, though?
Why wouldn't I say that?
That's very lacks empathy somewhat, doesn't it?
Well, that's on you.
No, it really isn't.
Empathy is not here to make you feel better about yourself. To me, to make you feel better about yourself. That's what not
I'm
what
not
empathy is for.
asking you to make me feel better about myself.
Well, effectively...
I'm asking you to engage with people.
Well, go
That's
on.
all. It doesn't really take that much effort, but it does come across like you can't be bothered.
I can't be bothered.
But don't you think that's quite rude?
Yes, but if that's on them, that's their reaction.
No, that's on you.
No,
being
not really.
rude, really.
Not really.
Yes, really.
No, don't think so. Rude is just another reaction that people have. Oh, he's being rude. No, I'm just being me. If you perceive me as being rude, that's on you. I don't want to conform to this sort of level of stuff. This is not who I am.
What, social interaction? That thing that you say you want so much of, but only with certain people, it seems.
At a certain frequency, yeah. Because that's who I am. My frequency.
And you're not prepared to push those boundaries at all, no?
Well, I don't...
Not prepared to look elsewhere and see what you find and explore.
I'm not
all
here
these
to
things
explore.
that all these things that M seems to suggest that he wants to do.
I explore my own way. I don't go every single direction when I explore. I go the directions I want to go. You know, you can't go in more than one direction.
Yeah,
anyway.
but you're only going the direction that you know.
Exactly.
So that's not really exploration, is it? That's just, oh, I know that. I've been there before, so I'll go there again. That's not exploring different stuff, is it? That's just going down the same route every time. It's going down the same path. So you're not ultimately going to expand anything, are you?
No,
you're
I'm not here
gonna...
to expand. I don't know how many times I keep saying this. I am not on this planet to learn, yeah?
You are.
No,
just the same
that's
as
your
everyone
opinion.
else is.
That's your perception of life. It is not my perception of life. My perception of life is I am on this planet to experience. That's it.
Yeah, but you're not. You're shutting yourself off. It's the same thing. Explore, experience, basically the same thing.
I'm not shutting myself off.
You are. You're shutting yourself off from experience.
No, I'm not. I'm experiencing the thing that I want to experience at any given point in time.
What, boredom?
What do you mean? I was not bored. I was not bored. I was quite happy and I wasn't bored. It looked as though I was bored, perhaps, but I was not feeling bored. And if I get bored, I really don't like being bored. And I will actually physically go out my way not to be bored. And so, you know, you'll know when I'm bored. But I'm not bored. That's just your perception. I can amuse myself for hours inside my own head, lost in my own thoughts. I hardly ever get bored. I've always got something on the go. Many pots are on the boil.
You're hard work.
It comes down to the assumption of worldview. Your worldview, as you've said many times, you're here to learn, right? Now, I don't have that same
Because you think you know it all already.
It's irrelevant what I know and what I don't know because it's all going to disappear when I die. So knowing is irrelevant. Yeah? Experience to me is what's relevant.
Yeah, but you're not experiencing anything.
I am. I'm experiencing something right now. I experience things all the time. You think that experience always has to be outward. It doesn't always have to be outward. Doesn't even you could not bat an eyelid and still be having an experience. It's all there. Multiple layers. It's fascinating. I could sit still and not be bored. Yeah? I could be lying down, not sleeping, and not be bored.
Yeah, I can do that too.
Like, what is the sole difference between learning and experiencing? I'll tell you, the only difference between learning and experiencing is that with learning, you take experience and you process it into some kind of format that you keep. Yeah? Kind of deliberately, or almost. I learn, but that's by the by. I learn, but I'm not trying to learn. I'm not trying to learn, but obviously I do learn things eventually. And sometimes I don't learn things, but I don't beat myself up that I'm not learning things, because it doesn't bother me. I'm not here. I don't feel like I'm here to learn. I'm just here to be. Does that make sense?
Not really.
Right, well.
Still looks rude.
How it looks is kind of not my issue. That's other people's issue.
Anyway, that was kind of off the cuff, wasn't it?
It's all off the cuff.
For half an hour.
Well, that's what we do. We talk. Off the cuff. And then, afterwards, I break it down into bite-sized chunks, give each chunk a title, and then we're away. I don't have to know what I'm talking about, I just have to talk. That's the genius of this transmission format. I don't have to think.
Some people might call it genius, some might call it bollocks.
Yeah, well, bollocks.
But hey, I'm sure they'll let us know in the comments.
Yeah, well, the internet's full of bollocks, so what more does it matter, That's what it's obviously there for. If you're not talking shit then on the internet, then, you may as well not be alive, because in 100 years' time you're going to be dead. And this is all that's going to be left.
Pictures of people's dinner.
Cats.
And a couple having domestics.
In audio format.
Yeah.
And loads of porn. So when archaeologists look back on the future...
So, I've just had a thought, right? And I've got to get this in. M is interested in living in a commune, but it appears that he is going to actually audition people who can live on this commune with him. And if they're not gelling with his vibe, man, they're not going to get a fucking seat in there, are they? Basically.
What do you mean, audition?
Like, you're going to vet people before they're allowed to come in, are you?
This is really interesting. What?
This is interesting. So if someone, like a member of my family knocked on the door and said, "Can I come and live in your commune?" Are you going to interview them?
No.
Are you going to interrogate them under a light like a Nazi bloody officer?
No.
Before they're allowed through the door? And if they don't happen to be at your level, then they're not allowed to live there. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. First of all...
M is all about loving people, by the way. And, I love people.
I do love people.
Except he doesn't actually love people. He loves a certain few people that he considers worthy of his presence. And it just intrigues me how this whole commune thing is going to work.
Right. You brought up several issues here. Firstly, let me address the point of the commune. I have never...
Yes, he has.
...made any definite plans about living in a commune.
No, but this is a fantasy.
Right.
That has been quite long term about how M would like to have his lifestyle.
Right, okay. Secondly, if your pet family came and wanted to live in a commune, would not have a problem with that.
He would.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. I'm still happy, I'm still me, everything's fine. Yeah? So that's the main thing, can I be me? Yeah? And they certainly don't stop me from being me.
No, they're not that sort of people.
Right.
Really.
And what was... Oh yeah, the love aspect. Apparently I love everyone. No, I'm fascinated by people, right? Okay? I like people. I'm a people person because I accept people as they are, you see.
Oh dear. No, he doesn't.
But that does not mean that I have to talk to these people that I accept as being as they are.
I accept you, but I don't want to be around you. I think you're a silly person.
No, I never said I...
From my pedestal that I'm sitting on. That I put myself
look down on other people. I'm not saying they're silly.
That I've actually built a ladder to myself.
I'm not saying they're silly. I'm not looking down on them, but really, what do we have in common? Yeah?
What do I have in common with them, really?
Exactly.
Apart from the fact I'm related.
Exactly. Well, that's another aspect of families, isn't it?
Yeah.